You are a democratic socialist.
Absolutely, in fact.
I have never used that term to refer to myself.
No, I know.
Right.
You have a Nazi tattoo?
Excuse me?
Do you have a Nazi tattoo?
I don't have any.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Kennedy asked if she was a democratic socialist. She tried to dodge that label here. Then he hit her with one question that immediately stopped the room here. Do you have a tattoo that represents the mustache man?
Dr. Morgan, are you a democratic socialist like your colleagues?
No.
You're not? Do you? I noticed that y'all's new policy is to create a 4-day, 32-hour work week with no loss in pay. Where are we going to get the money to do that?
That's not my policy.
You don't think we ought to do that?
I'm sorry.
Do you think we ought to have a federal jobs guarantee?
I think a federal jobs guarantee is a good idea, yes.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Really?
How do you think we're going to pay for that? Fair? You believe in the Easter Bunny, do you?
I think so.
it's incredibly hard to pay for these things when we're giving tax cuts to the ultra rich.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You think that all the growth in our economy just goes to the ultra rich?
I think that we just gave massive tax cuts to the wealthiest in this country, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You are a democratic socialist.
Absolutely, in fact.
I have never used that term to refer to myself.
No, I know.
Right.
You have a Nazi
Never used that.
tattoo?
Excuse me?
Do you have a Nazi tattoo?
I don't have any.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Guys, be aware here. Every single thing that she just espoused basically represents exactly the Democratic Socialist wing of the party here, all right? Let me go ahead and start naming all of the things that sound absolutely amazing here, right? Let me get with the masses of people who legitimately are, for the most part, financially illiterate. That represents the masses of America, unfortunately. The Democrat Party consistently offers all of these pie in the sky type of ideals here, right? All these plans and packages, et cetera, but never really actually have the ability to make them come to fruition. She said here, all the tax cuts for the uber wealthy, but the problem here is the uber wealthy are the ones that are funding the majority of the taxes. Truth be told here, if you're making less than $100,000, trust me when I say your taxes are not really doing much for the economy, all right? The majority of the people that are out here paying billions upon millions, let's say, of dollars here, are the uber wealthy and uber rich. They're the ones funding the entire country. So you're telling them to be taxed even more here because every single thing that she just espoused here is purely Democrat socialist type of talking points. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, but understand this here. None of this is going to come to fruition because it can't. How are you going to pay for these things?
Dr. Morgan is here to bash Trump without telling us that she formerly was part of the Biden administration and worked for Mr. Chopra at the CFPB, and that your policies caused inflation to go to 9%. I think that those would have been relevant things to tell us. I guess you thought we were going to look up your background.
Right.
Can we agree that the problem of affordability is the prices are too high? Duh. Does anybody disagree with that? And prices are too high because of inflation. Does anybody disagree with that? And inflation, despite Dr. Morgan's political beliefs, is not just a Trump problem, it was a Biden problem, was it not?
It's a first world problem.
Okay. So here's my question to you. Let's start with you, Ms. Johnson. How do you get prices down? That's what we're here for. How do you get prices down?
Well, we think a lot of the things that you all are doing, focusing the committee on the sources.
Tell me how to get prices down.
You increase supply and you make sure you cut the red tape.
You increase supply. Okay.
Sounds easy. It's not.
Some people want to talk about deflation. Are you, if you believe in deflation, as we see it in the world today, you need to change your meds. China's got deflation. How's it going for them?
Terrible.
They've got about a 20% unemployment rate for their young people. The only way out of the inflation is to grow our way out of it. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
You're going to have to increase our economic growth, not at the top line, but so people feel it. You're going to have to increase wages. And to do that, do you disagree with Mr. Brown? We're going to have to grow the pie. right or wrong?
Well, Senator, first of all, I'm here to support home ownership.
Okay.
In supporting home ownership.
No disrespect, but
realtors.
whatever. I'm sorry if I offended you. How do you think we can get out of these high prices? Otherwise, I mean, you can try to go, promote deflation, get ready for 10% unemployment.
Or more, 10, 15,
Okay.
20.
Then Dr. Morgan's really going.
Yeah, guys, I think China is between 15 to 20 in terms of their youth unemployment, pretty much due to the deflationary events that have basically been happening in China.
Be bashing us.
Silly, don't do this.
Okay. Tell me how we grow our way out of it. I don't see any other way to deal with inflation.
I think
but to grow people's wages.
I think that we increase inventory. We reduce zoning restrictions. We do a lot of the same things that are
And how are you going to
bill.
increase inventory?
By
Who
Magic?
owns the inventory? Businesses. You're going to have to stimulate the economy and help businesses to grow, aren't you?
Well, I come from California, which is ground zero for the lack of housing affordability, and it's a little more complicated than that.
I don't think you want to answer my question.
Right, I would have
Ms.
moved on
Johnson,
to. Let's
aren't
go.
we going to have to grow the economy and therefore increase wages in order to help people deal with the inflation? If I'm wrong, tell me. If there's a better way, tell me.
I think growth has been a key driver. Consumer spending continues to be strong. It's what's driven us through one of the most tumultuous times that we've been through, including bringing historic high inflation. We also do need to address prices. And I think the Fed's focused on it. Price stability has got to be key.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we basically we're free enterprise in America. We're basically, to grow the economy, you've got to stimulate businesses and try to direct labor to share in the growth.
I'm sure we can all sit down and agree that the United States of America is incredibly expensive, all right, and it's getting more incredibly expensive, sure, and wages are in fact not keeping up here. Now, we can all agree. Let's just sit down, agree. That has nothing to do with whatever party affiliation you may have here, guys. I think that's pretty much the moderate position here. It's expensive in the United States of America. People are not being paid enough, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's get to the crux of the issue here. I know that there was a gigantic amount of people on the right specifically that voted for Donald Trump exclusively because he said he was going to do something about the inflation and the overall economy here. When I heard that, when he said this here, I was just like, this may be just like campaign speech, because I'm not sure if he gets into office that he's going to be able to do that kind of at all here. All right. Like just like looking through the veil of politics, at least here. And the reason why I was so like steadfast in my belief on that here is that, guys, if you make things cheaper kind of by force, the business that was once running that made said product and had people employed there are going to get rid of a gigantic amount of their staff here. Now unemployment rates start to move up here. So in terms of like deflationary events, there can only really be two things that happen here. One is that way here. Make things cheaper by force. The businesses start getting rid of people. Okay. They have to, because they can't run the business any longer here, guys, right? And or you increase the supply, right? So by increasing supply of whatever is being purchased, right, kind of by default, things get cheaper. That's one way to make things cheaper. There's so much of it that we're just going to sell it for cheaper, right? If that makes any sense here. Everyone keeps their jobs. The product that people are chasing gets cheaper, and they have better access and more access to it. Great. One way. But the other way that we keep hearing all over the internet and all over the media, et cetera, we need to lower the prices. No, guys, no, you just have to make more money. That's it here. But then again, that's a lot easier said than done. And that's why we keep coming back to kind of the same argument, if that makes any sense here. Because there's no, how do you tell someone to just make more money? Right? That's the problem. And I think that's what economists have been kind of battling forever, because you can't just tell people to make more money. Right? They have to be able to make more money, but they're not, because there's so many other people, again, and that's where the whole immigration issue comes in. If there are 60 Americans, okay, looking for a job, and they themselves can't really find the job, let's say this year, and I'm talking about, let's say specifically something where, and let's talk about agriculture. There are 60 Americans looking for some agricultural type of work here, all right, and then there's 60 other people that have the ability to come in, basically undercut your price here, that they were going to pay you for the most part. But they're coming in with the H-1B visa here, specifically for agriculture. There's an issue. Okay. I don't want to dig too deep into that topic because you guys tried to cancel me last time on this topic here. I don't want to dig too deep, but everything in the United States of America and in all of these first world nations here are purely about the same thing here. The law of supply and demand. All right. Like the faster you understand that in any field, any niche, I think you will have the ability to kind of dominate from within. Now, the real estate aspect here is another one of these supply and demand issues, guys. We can't just build 1 million houses overnight here. We can't. But one thing that guy said before we all found out that he was from California and we no longer cared what he was saying, before that guy, you remember that guy. The one thing that he said was zoning restrictions. There are some things, there are some structures, like commercial structures that in fact can be kind of converted into some type of like residential type of thing, affordable housing, right? Like, I mean, super affordable housing. Give them the ability to buy what is equivalent to like a 2-bedroom condo. Oh yeah. And like some industrial thing, have like a common area type thing downstairs, coffee shops, etc. People will love that, guys, right? And then a super communal, that could work, but there are some zoning issues in some places that are basically stopping that. So if you want to absolutely increase the supply in certain places, you do have to kind of rezone some areas here. Like there needs to be the ability to put residential in, previously ran industrial areas. As long as the air and water quality in that area is completely safe, we're just wasting old buildings that would be cheap for a developer to purchase and then immediately start installing 2-bedroom condos in a building, if that makes any sense here, that most likely has like factory level parking. Okay. Guys, so I 100% back the idea of like converting some of these old structures that were built 100 years ago, kind of into modern day affordable housing, less like 1,000 square feet, just something super affordable, right? And that would in fact ease a gigantic amount, but it would have to be super cheap. Okay. And I'm not talking about more than $100,000 because they're not worth $100,000 here, guys. All right. Like let someone have the ability to purchase a house or a condo for $69,000, $75,000. And I think that's absolutely reasonable. Create like a special, fixed rate mortgage type of thing here, lower the requirement for credit, etc. And then just move on. I think that could absolutely be something that could fix the housing market pretty fast here, turns a lot of people into homeowners, guys. And generally the fastest way to build wealth in the United States of America definitely tends to come from real estate, actually owning a literal asset, not a depreciating asset. You need to understand the differences between these things here, guys, because people think their cars are assets, and I look at them like, yeah, that's not it, guys. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go and catch you guys later.